What is up? Welcome to the #1 channel in East and Central Africa that brings you great and epic motorcycle content that many have come to love. Now we are back like we never left, and we are bringing you packed up content like never before. We have partnered up with various dealerships and other partners in order to make everyone a better and a more informed rider. But before we continue, do give this video a like. It really helps us so much more than you know. Now I had the opportunity to ride this Dayang Gallop 183.
Come on.
Yeah. And by the way, we will not be looking into the technical specs of this bike, because I couldn't remember where I put all my files, and I can't remember what we were told because this video is a bit old. Now I will be pointing out the obvious though. The bike is has a single cylinder 180cc air-cooled 4-stroke engine that has both kick and electric start, which to me is a very convenient thing to have, especially if you're broke and can't really buy or rather don't have money for another battery. Now you do get cast wheels, the 130 and a 110 at the front and at the rear and front respectively. Now the bike also comes with 2 spring shocks at the rear and a telescopic front shock at the front, of course. Anyway, though they were quite decent by the way. You also get a pedal disc brake at the front and also drum brakes at the rear. Now, I'm not sure if the recent models also come with a disc brake at the rear. Let me know in the comments if you actually own one, and does yours have a drum brake or does it have a disc brake at the rear. Now you do get a crash cage straight from the dealership with LED tail lights and turn signals, which should be, by the way, standard for every bike. Bulbs are so like 18th century. Now you do get a banana seat which has some really nice stitching which blended nicely with the styling of the bike. Speaking of styling, if you take away the ugly headlight, it is actually quite pleasant to look at. Now the only downside I would say about this bike is the ginormous cockpit. That kind of reminds me of the Apache RTR 180 and the 160. I really don't like big dashboards or big cockpits. I think it's just a waste of space and material. Now if it had a monoshock, this bike would actually be very nice, very good looking. Well, but the 150 does come with a monoshock though. Maybe you can swap out the swing arms. I don't know. Maybe you can, maybe you cannot. I don't know. I haven't ridden the 150, but I know this bike is actually something quite awesome. The bike is very comfortable to sit on. It has an upright sitting posture. You do have the regular rider triangle and all, and the ride, boy does this bike have some torque. I think this comes from I think the bike is actually a twin spark, because I noticed this after checking out the footage that the spark plugs are actually on both sides of the engine case. I'm not engine case, on both sides of where usually the spark plugs. I think this bike is a twin spark, which explains the kind of torque that this bike actually has. And boy does this bike sound amazing. The bike is super fun to ride, very light, very nimble, especially in the corners. I think the twin spark and also that torque does it quite a big favor. Please check out how much fun I had with this bike at this small roundabout. Also, let me know if you know where this place actually is. I know a lot of you have actually been onto this place. If you live in a certain area, this is actually like a biker's playground for some people who like to do wheelies and stuff. Anyway, the Dayang actually in my opinion, have really nailed the suspension bit of it. If you look at the Dayang 200, the sport tour that we did cover, if you look at it, this bike, the suspension is actually great. I haven't heard of anyone really complaining about the suspension ever since it came out. Anyway, the bike felt awesome in the corners and also on the road too. And I know I'm going to be asked this question: what is the top speed of the bike? Always in the comment section. Honestly, I think this bike can actually do 120 kilometers per hour, but definitely not for quite a long distance. Anyway, that's my opinion. If you do own this bike and you have owned it for for quite a long time past the break-in period. Please let me know what's the actual top speed that you have been able to achieve and how long you've been able to sustain it. Now this bike will set you back 150,000 Kenya shillings, brand new, straight from the dealership. And you can get this bike from Captain Motors off Kahawa Wendani Road, Pale Captain Motors. Even though they didn't pay, they were to pay me to do this video. I thought, anyway, information is power, let me just give out this video for free. I also think that I think they have partnered up with financiers like Mogo. I'm not sure, but I do know somebody told me that the bike comes in brand new at 150,000 Kenya shillings. Now this bike I would recommend to a beginner and anyone who wants a little oomph with their next upgrade, and someone who is really on a budget. I mean, if you compare this bike to the Zonte's 200J, actually I would go for this bike. This bike, if you overlook the ugly headlight and the border styling a bit, I think this would be a very good starter bike. If you compare those bikes in the prices, I think this bike would actually top it off. You get a good sound, you get a good suspension, I do presume that you get a good mileage as well. The bike actually looks way better if you take away the headlight, of course. It looks way better than the Zonte's 200J. Not throwing shade to the 200J, because it also has some advantages. One in particular is the ride height, rather the ground clearance of the 200J is actually way better than this Dayang 183. Anyway, thank you so much for watching till this far. I hope you enjoyed it so much that you would consider giving this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I know this was quite short. We did say that we're going to be keeping this very short and sweet. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, ride safe, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.